Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurata Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shivasadi Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurata Vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurata Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Chandra Krishnaji,
Hare Krishna.
Let me spotlight. Thank you, Prabhu, for joining. Hare Krishna devotees, we welcome all of you for the today's morning program, Nityam Bhagavatha Sevaya. And today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Swayam Prakash Prabhu, and Prabhu will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam for first chapter, verses 13 and 14. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Om Namo
Prabhu.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namo. Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 1, text 13 and 14 today. Bhavaya nashaya cha karma kartum shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya sukhaya dukkhaya cha deha yogam avyaktadishtam janatangadatte. My dear Priyavrat, By the order of the Supreme Personality Godhead, all living entities accept different types of bodies for the birth and death, activities, lamentation, illusion, fear of future dangers, and happiness and distress. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Every living entity who has come to the material world has come here for material enjoyment. But according to his own karma activities, he must accept a certain type of body given to him by material nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavatha 3.27, Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah. Everything is being done by Prakriti, material nature, under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Modern scientists do not know why there are varieties of bodies and 8.4 million forms. The fact is that all these bodies are ordained for the living entities by the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to the living entity's desire. He gives the living entities freedom to act as they like, but on the other hand, they must accept a body according to the reactions of their activities. Thus, they are given different types of bodies. Some living entities have short durations of life, whereas others live for a fantastic duration. Every one of them, however, from Brahma down to the ant, acts according to the directions of the Supreme Personality Godhead, who is sitting in everyone's heart, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. It is not a fact, however, that the Supreme Personality Godhead gives directions to certain living entities in one way and other living entities in another way. The truth is that the living entity has a certain desire and the Supreme Lord gives him a chance to fulfill it. The best course, therefore, is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality Godhead and act according to his desire. One who does so is liberated. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganadalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Paridanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Neelachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pungam langayate girim yat garbhatamam vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshu. Hare Krishna. I thank devotees for giving me an opportunity to share some things or read Bhagavatam, so that which will help me to purify myself. So, in this section, the beautiful section of Priyavrat Maharaj is going on, which teaches us many lessons And one of the at the onset itself, it teaches us one of the very prime this one, that how in this world, like there's going to be conflicts or difference of opinion at every stage of life, and what one should do when one is in such situation. Here also Priyavrat Maharaj had his difference, like now what his desire, and on top of that his father is on one, like now father and the Naradani is telling them some things, and then finally to settle all the things, now the Brahmaji has come, and Brahmaji is speaking to Priyavrat Maharaj. So the same way, it is natural that while staying in the association of the devotees and rendering service together, there is going to be many lot of difference of opinion amongst us, and especially like the more one is so-called materially learned, or in the working in the outside corporate world, then it's sure that there will be different ways of acting and a difference of opinion. And when that is there, how one should do, like, or how one should act, that we can learn here. That when Brahmaji came, all of them finally agreed, because he is above all of them, two parties. So the same way, when we have difference of opinion amongst each other while serving, then the simple way is to approach a superior in whom both devotees have the confidence, or the who accept him as their well-wisher, or the uh, uh, senior. So that will make it very simple and easy to sort out the things. So here, now that Brahmaji has come, Brahmaji is speaking to Priyavrata, telling about how every living entity, like he says that, like it is by the order of the Supreme Lord, one gets a different types of bodies for the birth and death, activity, lamentation, illusion, fear of future dangers, happiness and distress. Ignore. Yeah. Deha yogam avyaktadishtam. Avyaktadishtam means avyakta is here, it is referring to the Supreme Lord. Dishtam, as directed by the Supreme Lord, he gets a deha yogam, he gets a body. And what is that? Like now, on what basis they get? Then, like now, suppose here it is said directed by the living entities. Then the question may come that, oh, in this world we see that some people are born with silver spoon and some people are born with nothing to eat. Does that mean that the like now Lord is directing and he's partial? He's putting somebody on the one side of taken birth in a rich family, and another side it is very poor family. So that question may arise. And in some of the like Abrahamic religion and all, they don't have the concept of the karma, or the like reincarnation and all. They say this life is all in all, and at the end there is a doomsday, or the one judgment, day of the judgment, and after that you'll go to heaven or hell forever. And if you don't accept such and such, then you'll rot in hell forever. So if you see that, then if that is the case, suppose I am not belonging to that sect, in the sense what their belief is. I have born in some other so-called religion. Then does that mean that on what basis did I take birth? If I have been put in that, and if I don't follow the particular sect which they say that if one doesn't follow, go to the hell, that means on what basis? I didn't choose that. If I were given the choice, I would have chosen that, but not given. So it is God who has put me in this, so he is responsible for that. So that means he is partial. On what basis he is partial? So if we carefully question all this, many times people may not question and they may just follow this, or they speak that, okay, this is the only way, or that is the only way. But our Sanatana Dharma, Vedic scriptures, they give chance for everyone and accommodate everyone according to their level. And that's why it is not just, it is inclusive of everyone. It is not exclusive for such and such. So here also we see that how this shloka also clearly Brahmaji is telling that by the order of the Supreme Lord, all the living entity get the accept different types of bodies. And Prabhupada clarifies in the purport very nicely that yes, they get different bodies, but on what basis? It is based on the their own activities. Prakrite kriyamanini gunai karmani sarvasham. So material nature provides the body, but according to what? Based on one's desires. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a very beautiful example that a citizen, he accepts certain results. That means he gets some may get agricultural land, or somebody may go to prison according to their actions, but by the order of the king. The king can based on their action, he'll get be rewarded or he'll be put to prison. But at the same time, the king can change this one, what do you call, the order, but he impartially he gives the judgment based on their action. The same way here also, the Lord, based on the desire of the living entity, he puts them in different forms for them to fulfill their desire. Sometimes people may condemn God. They may accept, okay, God is not partial, but why did he put me in such and such body? He should have put me in the, okay, if a criminal may say, why did it God create me in this way that I have this criminal mentality? He should have created me in a way, a very sober, sattvic person. It is his mistake. But nobody thinks that it is my own desire. To fulfill my desire, Lord is going extra mile to create this whole atmosphere. If you carefully see, this word, as Ishopanishad says, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Supreme Lord being the complete, he can create the material world. Even the material world is complete in itself. What is complete? It is complete in itself with all the things needed for any living entity to fulfill his desire and according to his own whims. Lord doesn't interfere with the free will. We are not like a robot that God has created that, oh, you should do like this, you should do like that. If you don't follow, you are thrown out. No. He gives, oh, you want to do this? Fine, you go. If you do this, you'll get this. If you do this, you'll get this. So based on our desire, Lord is ready to go to an extent of creating this entire universe. For what purpose? Just to transform my desires. We have heard this example so many times that just like a mother, while cooking, if the child comes and is troubling the mother that I want to cook, then mother gives a small child toy set and gives and tells, oh beta, you cook now. And the child will go and happily, as if she is cooking the whole chappan bhog. She'll make everything with the sand and the leaf and the atta, whatever it is. And then when her belly starts crying, she comes to the mother and pulls the sari and says, feed me now. The same way, when the living entity is trying to become the enjoyer, controller, and proprietor, because the whole attitude is coming from the mindset of wanting to be the enjoyer, the desire to enjoy separately from Krishna. If somebody wants to enjoy something, he can enjoy only when he can control anything. Like only a controller of certain thing can enjoy it. And who can control anything? One who is a proprietor or one who is the owner of that particular thing. The same way, to be the enjoyer, one has to have the control and proprietorship over anything. And that's why in the spiritual world it is not possible. So Lord creates this material world where we have a minute amount of proprietorship for short duration of time, where we have minute controllership till the time we are given that ability, and we think we are the enjoyers, and we try to falsely consider that, oh, I enjoy according to my own things. But when carefully observes and contemplates how I want to enjoy so many times, but I am being baffled so many times, then one comes to the senses that yes, I cannot enjoy on myself or on my own. I am dependent, or I need to follow certain things. I cannot enjoy on as I want. When one understands that, he starts asking the questions: why am I suffering, or why I want to enjoy but I am not able to? And then he starts following the rules and regulations given in the scriptures. That's what is there in the next shloka also, that how which says that, I'll read the translation. Listen. Yadvachitatya tantyam gunakarmadamabihi sudusthurairvatsa vayam suyojita sarve vahamo balimishvaraya prota nasiva. Okay. Sorry, I didn't share. Prota nasiva dipade chatushpadaha. My dear boy, all of us are bound by the Vedic injunctions to the divisions of Varnashrama according to our qualities and work. These divisions are difficult to avoid because they are scientifically arranged. We must therefore carry out the duties of Varnashrama Dharma like bulls obliged to move according to the directions of a driver pulling on ropes knotted to their noses. Just like the pull is controlled, the same way we are also controlled. And what is that? The rope is the scriptures. The like that is mentioned, that like no Acharyas or Prabhupada also writes in this the purport. And like no, as it is said, Prabhupada says here also, he gives a living entity freedom to act as they like. He doesn't interfere. But on the other hand, they must accept a body according to the reactions to their activities. So Lord, we all know that the triangle, how the things work, that is the Jiva is there, Prakriti is there, the Supreme Lord, Ishvara is there. As per the desire of the living entity, the Lord who is seated in the heart of every living entity as a Paramatma, he is Upadrishta Anumanta. He, like no, Upadrishta, he keeps observing, and Anumanta, he is a sanctioner. He doesn't interfere. He just, okay, till the time we turn our face, he is just watching and like no, eagerly looking, and according to our desires, he sanctions. Yes, he can get it, he cannot. And based on the sanction, the Prakriti, it provides whatever is the body. And according to that, he gets a 8.4 million forms. Like now, we all know in the Padma Purana, it mentions, Vishnu Purana, that how the whole, what do you call the 8.4 million species are divided. And you might have, you all might have read it many times. I'll just, Jalajanava Lakshani Stavara Laksha Vimshati Kramayo Rudra Sankhya Pakshinam Dashalakshanam Trimshal Lakshani Pashavaha Chatur Lakshani Manushaha. So 9 lakhs of Jalaja Navalakshani, those which is there in the water, that is 9 lakh. Stavara, Stavara means which cannot move. There are the trees, plants, herbs, all those things. That is Lakshavimshati, 20 lakhs. And Krimi, that is the like all the insects and reptiles, all those. Rudra is 11 Rudras are there. So that's why it it is 11 lakhs. Pakshinam dasha, all that which flies in the air, that is 10 lakhs. And Trimshal, that is 30 lakhs, are the Pashavaha. Pashu means animals, all different kinds of animals. And Chatur Lakshani Manushaha, and 4 lakh human species. So this 4 lakh is depending upon, then if it is a Lord has made everybody as a robot, then it should be one. Why there is 4 lakh? And that we can clearly see this 4 lakh species. All the signs say that human species one, but according to the Shastra, it is 4 lakh because of their mindset or the consciousness. We see that just this we can clearly observe amongst ourselves. There'll be some people who are very sober, calm, composed, cool, and some people are like so vulgar, so rash, so hurting to each others. And that is based on the saintly qualities and the asuric mentality. So the whole 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita deals with this, how there are different mindsets. People may externally look very clean, gentle, and well behaved, but what is their consciousness? That dictates this 4 lakh species. So we see that how the Lord it is, and in the next one also, Prabhupada clearly the purport writes that how it is not that just by taking birth in a Brahmana family he can be called as a Brahmana. It is based on his activities. He gets qualified, or he gets the is qualified as a which category he belongs to. And Prabhupada in this also it is Brahmaji is telling that how it is very scientific process which has been arranged by the Supreme Lord. Chaturvarna maya system guna karma vibhagasha. That is, Lord has created this Chaturvarna. And this because Lord is created, there cannot be any false or the fault in it. Because another one of this one Lord is glorified is Anavadyam. That means he is completely faultless. And who will do fault? One who is not able to perceive things in reality, they may make some fault. And because Lord is a Purusha, or the scriptures are not written by a Purusha, a Purusha. That's why the scriptures are Dharmam to Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Whatever the Lord has said, that is a Dharma, and the scriptures are directly the words of the Lord. That way, there cannot be any flaw in it. We all know the 4 defects. That is, because of the imperfect senses, one gets illusioned, and when one is illusioned, then one commits mistake, and to cover up the mistakes, he has the cheating propensity. And Lord, because his senses are perfect, so that way there are no mistakes in the things which is given, especially the scriptures. And those scriptures should be the guiding rope, just like the bull is guided by the person who is controlling it. In the bullock cart, or we see that he puts the rope on the right side and he pulls, then immediately it turns to the right, and to the left it turns to the left. The same way, that rope of the scriptures, or the words of the scriptures, should be the guiding force for all of our life. Then the life can be successful. If we act based on our own whims, then we should be ready for the outcome. So in the purport also, Prabhupada very nicely explains about this guna and karma. That is about the 4 Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and this division. It is scientific and it cannot be removed, and at the same time it is not biased, or it is not in any way partial. It is based on one's own desire. If one desires to be a Brahmana and acts according to that desire, he can become a Brahmana. The very fitting examples example which comes for this is the Satyakama Jabala. Once, like Jabala, his name was, he comes to, if I'm not Gautam Rishi, or I don't remember the name of the sage, he comes and tells, I want to become your disciple. And he says that, sorry, I accept only the uh, Brahmanas. However, oh, may I know who is your father? He says, I don't know. I'll ask my mother and come. And he goes and asks mother. Mother says that I don't know whom you are. Like, no, I was like a social girl because of circumstances, and I don't know from whom I begot you. Next day he comes and he presents the same thing, tells that I don't know who is my father. My mother also doesn't know. And immediately the sage accepts, you are a Brahmana because you are not lying. You are not hiding anything. And he accepts him as a disciple. On contrary, we see that Karna, who disguised himself as a Brahmana and came to learn the martial arts, then when he acted that the bee or this one, when it comes and bites, he acted in a way which is not befitting to the Brahmana. And immediately he was told, see, your guna and karma is not matching with that of a Brahmana, so that way you are not a Brahmana. So that way it is based on it is not by the birth, it is by the actions and the work what one does. And is it that it is fixed? No, it can be changed. That's what the scriptures say. The very famous example for this is Prabhupada quotes that life of Narad Muni also. How he was born in as a Dasi Putra in a lower this one, but because of the associating with the sadhus, the Bhaktivedantas, and serving them, at the end of the life, he immediately got the body of Narad Muni. And if you see his previous life, he was a Gandharva. His name was Upabarhana. And Prabhupada writes in this one that as a Upabarhana Gandharva, he, although he is supposed to glorify the Supreme Lord, he started, when the sages came, he started singing some mundane cinema song. And they cursed at, you are acting not like this one right way, you become a Dasi Putra. And he was cursed, and that's how he became Dasi Putra. So that based on the actions what one does, then he gets the next this one. Just like a son of a doctor doesn't again become a doctor. He is if he doesn't qualify. The same way one has to qualify to be called. And Prabhupada, in the second verse also establishes that how this Varnashrama Dharma, which is made by the Supreme Lord, is scientific, and how by following that one can be really happy in this world while being engaged in whatever activities one is doing. So, and Prabhupada also condemns the modern civilization, wherein they may be very scientifically, they may be advancing, but unless it is God-centered, no matter how much advancement one make, but it is all Shamaye Kevalam or Mandanam Lokaranjanam. It is like decorating a dead body. What is the use of decorating a dead body in the West? This is one of the very what I can say, money-making industry, what I have heard, that I don't know the name, what they call it as. It is when they are being kept in that coffin. Before that, they put make a smile on the face and everything. They make that, and that is quite expensive. So, what is the use of making all those things? It is useless. So, that's what. If one's endeavors is not leading to Ante Narayana Smriti, then all those things, and if it is not arising the attraction towards the Supreme Lord's message. If it is not happening like Vasudeva Kata Ruchi, then like it is like it says that like no, it is just a Shamaeva hi kevalam. What is the use of that endeavor? On the other hand, one should use all his endeavors for the sake of following the scriptures and to purify one's heart. And Prabhupada very nicely emphasizes the last two verses of the 16th chapter, which tells that how we should make the scriptures as a guiding principle of our life. So Prabhupada will just if you move according to the instruction of the Vedas, the perfect path for our life will be set. Otherwise, if we do not move in that way but act according to our whimsical ideas, our lives will be spoiled by confusion and will end in despair. Actually, because people at the present moment are not following the instruction of the Vedas, they are all confused. So, and quote this, Yashastram idimutsurja vartate kamakarata na siddhim na vapnoti na sukham na param gatim. Neither in this he'll be happy nor in the next life. So, in this purport also, this and the 23rd and the 24th, Prabhupada very nicely. Yes. Yeah, I'll just read few sentences from words. In other words, a man may this Prabhupada writes very nicely that how this Shastra is there. It is not just sufficient to know read the Shastra or something or understand. Whereas it should be applied in the life. Yeah. So everyone expected to follow the rules and regulations. If one does not follow them and acts whimsically according to lust, greed, and desires, then he will be perfect. He will never be perfect in his life. In other words, a man may theoretically know these things, but if he does not apply them in his own life, then he is to be known as the lowest of mankind. One thing is theoretically not knowing only, that is animalistic life. And after knowing, if it doesn't apply, he is the lowest. In the human form of life, a living entity is expected to be sane and to follow the regulations given for elevating his life to the highest platform. But if he does not follow them, then he degrades himself. But even if he follows the rules and regulations and moral principles, and ultimately does not come to the stage of understanding the Supreme Lord, then all his knowledge becomes spoiled. One thing is animalistic life. Better than that is having theoretical knowledge, is at least he knows it. But after knowing that, he has to apply it, otherwise useless. After applying, whether he is developing the attraction for the Supreme Lord. If not, there is also lower. And even if he accepts the existence of the God, first is acceptance of the God. If it does not engage himself in the service, the Lord, service of the Lord, his attempts are spoiled. Once, Srila Prabhupada, when he was in the West, in the initial days, few devotees came to know that there is a professor who has done PhD on the life of Srila Jiva Goswami and his teachings. So they became so eager and happy to hear that now here is a person who has done extensive study on Jiva Goswami. So let us go and meet. So they all went and they knocked on the door. A person came and opened the door. And the person was well dressed in the tuxedo and with the cigar pipe in his mouth. And they said, "Can you meet such and such professor?" He said, "It's myself." And the devotees were shocked that he has done extensive work on the life and teachings of Srila Jiva Goswami, and there's not even a little transformation in his life. That is, at least they were expecting that he will be in dhoti, kurta, tilak, and the moment they go, immediately he'll fall at the floor and offer vancha kalpatarubhyascha and give a great red carpet welcome. but it was contrary, because he had done research. It was just from the brain and it had not gone to the heart, and that's why there was no external transformation. The same way, whatever knowledge we read in the Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, if it doesn't sink into our heart, then it is like surely it will make some help, but it is in one sense like no, useless, because we are not taking full advantage of that. Therefore, one should gradually raise himself to the platform of Krishna consciousness and devotional service. It is then and there that he can attain the highest perfectional stage. Otherwise, it is not possible. So that's why first is to know, and after knowing, one should apply it in his life. And that's why in the next verse, the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita concludes, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Akarya Vyavastitau Jnatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Ihar Hasi. So that here Arjuna is being told by Krishna that therefore, according to the Shastra, one should do what should know what is Karya and Akarya, what should be done and what should not be done, or what is forbidden. And Jnatva, knowing the Shastra Vidhanoktam, knowing the injunctions of the scripture, Karma Kartum Ihar Hasi, you should act, or one should lead one's life. So in that Prabhupada writes, for the ordinary persons who are not in Krishna consciousness or who are not engaged in devotional service, what is to be done and what is not to be done must be decided by the injunctions of the Vedas. One should act accordingly without argument. One cannot say that why this is so, why that is so. No, whatever the Shastras are telling, they have to follow it, because they're apaurishaya. It is not created by any human being, and there cannot be any flaw. Only the perfection is when we follow the injunctions given in the scriptures. So that will make here also Prabhupada writes, however, one is able to be guided by a proper bona fide spiritual master who can lead on the path of elevation to the higher stage, then one's life becomes successful. And what the spiritual master does, he doesn't concoct himself. As Srila Prabhupada once was in West, and one person came and, Swamiji, I have read all the commentaries of Bhagavad Gita of different acharyas, and I have read yours also. And yours is a lot of things matches with the what Ramanujacharya also has written. So for a author, if it is being told that, oh, yours is something similar or your work has been previously done, it is a kind of a defame. But Prabhupada immediately looked at the disciples and started laughing very happily. See, that goes to show that I have not concocted my own things. I'm just in parampara. So in spiritual life, the best way is to just present what our acharyas have presented. And the spiritual master, he being the what you can say, he doesn't add or delete anything, and he just presents whatever is there coming in the sampradaya. So when one follows those injunctions given by him, then one's life can be successful. That's why here also Priyavrat Maharaj is being guided by Brahmaji that you follow the injunctions of the scriptures, and then slowly he'll bring him to convince him that how Varnashrama Dharma and the different this one, and then how it's better for you to enter the Grahastha, and then he takes it ahead. So these are the few points which I thought of sharing. Please forgive me if I could not prepare much, but whatever little bit I could understand from the purport of Srila Prabhupada, I just thought of sharing. Hare Krishna Kantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If any comments or queries, I'm open.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for taking your time, a very busy time because of the new temple opening. Even though you are in the management, still you have taken some time to give us some knowledge to purify us. And like the way you have mentioned, like it was very nice, Prabhuji, the way that like Chaturvarna Maya Srishtim, like it is based on our desires, but not based on the Lord's whatever you wanted. But the reactions come based on our activities. So you have nicely given the example. And also you said that law does not interfere in our daily activities or in our activities, but based on activities, our reactions will come and which we have to accept. And you have mentioned that like some of the points that I noted down that I felt like very nice. And 4 lakh human species is based on the consciousness. Like as per the science, it is the one, but as per consciousness, like it is different. And there you have mentioned that how people are in ignorance, lowest. Then comes the like who knows theory. Then he accepts the Lord. Then he said, still he does not do the services. Then finally doing the service to the Lord. Different stages which you have mentioned. And also, like you mentioned, the way bull is guided by the rope tied to it. So we also should be guided by the scriptures and then our spiritual masters. Then our life will be perfect. And then you mentioned different things like guna karma, how those are not matching. Like you have given the example of Satyakama Jabala and how he did not lie. And also he said, gave the example of Karna, how he lied, still like his activities not matching with the Brahmana qualities. And you have mentioned Narada Muni in the Gandharva form. So he was supposed to glorify the Lord, but he was singing the mundane things. So still it was not befitting the his role. And and you have mentioned that very nice. If our endeavor does not lead to Ante Narayana Smriti, then it's Sramahi Evaya Kevalam. And I mean that I think we need to remember or like continuously keep meditating on that. Otherwise, like it will be again this life also will be futile. And it's probably like at the end you mentioned in the spiritual life one should follow the injunctions of scriptures and the parampara previous acharyas. It was very nice class, Prabhuji. And starting, you have mentioned that how Narada Muni and Swayam Muni gave the different injections, different instructions, but he was confused. So Brahma appeared. So similarly, like whenever there are difference of opinions among the devotees, so you said like very nicely that they should approach a well-wisher of both, senior devotee who is a well-wisher to both of them and discuss and then agree whatever he says. I mean, it was very nice. And this is the daily thing that we come across also. Thank you, Prabhuji, for making it very clear. And devotees can unmute and ask any questions. Hare Krishna. Radharani Mataji asked that is Satyakama Jabali. Yes, bro, it was Satyakama Jabali only. So, any other questions?
Prabhu, very, very practical class, Prabhu, for what we thought. Like what when you said that person who had read all the Bhagavad Gitas from different people and he comes and tells Prabhupada, it is similar to he was telling. But Prabhupada immediately said, it's not. Like we will not be like that. That's what we should learn from Prabhupada. So many things, so much to learn from him. Immediately we'll jump, no, it is my own work, we will say. But so great, Prabhu. So much of learnings from today's your class and very practical, Prabhu. And a long way to go to learn. Thank you so much. Dandod Pranam, Prabhu.
Mataji can tell, like, no, if like she being the author of textbooks, if somebody comes and tells, hey, this textbook is not so this and then like it is like a little pinching to the heart. Although like no, now as a devotee may not, but at least like outside people they cannot. It is not so easy for them to accept. They try to defend themselves. So
yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Any other devotees? Any questions or comments? There are some comments from Mutra Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandod Pranams. Thanks for the nectar. Yes, Prabhuji, I think there are no more questions. I think all devotees are very much clear with your practical examples, Prabhuji. So we can end the class.